audio article by the Common Constitutionalist entitled, America is Traveling at Warp Speed Toward Racial Insanity. It's not often that sports and politics cross paths. Sure, the fact that the sports press is more liberal than their news counterparts is widely known, or should be, but I'm speaking of the athletes. Every once in a while, athletes will take a political or cultural stand, but it is still the exception, which is why the Colin Kapernick story has garnered so much press. The San Francisco 49ers quarterback sat during the national anthem prior to the start of an NFL preseason game a couple of weeks ago, and again took a knee rather than stand during the last. He says he is doing this to show solidarity for oppressed blacks. It's one thing for a grown man to voice his opinion in such a way, but it's quite another to consciously or unwittingly influence children to mimic his actions. It seems Kaepernick's antics have inspired 6 fifth graders to take a knee during the reciting of their school's Pledge of Allegiance. Undoubtedly, their teacher must have shook her head and rolled her eyes at this display of ignorance. You might think that, but this is a public school where children don't go to learn, but to be indoctrinated. And in order for the kids to be so, the teacher must be brainwashed first. And son of a gun if this wasn't the case. The 5th grade teacher, known as Tago on Twitter, tweeted, I'm a public school teacher. During our pledge today, 6 5th graders took a knee. Colin Kaepernick, you did this. You are inspiring kids. Salute. Lest you think Tago was somehow being sarcastic, she followed up with these rather disappointing but entirely expected tweets. Just so you understand how these brave Lil, as in L-I-L, ones were being, our whole school meets for our morning assembly and the Pledge of Allegiance. It is hard and scary to stick out at any age, but especially as a child. They did this in front of over 500 kids, teachers, and their principal. Her next tweet, 4 African/Black American students, 2 Mexicans, yay, Mexicans, all 10 and 11 years old, taking a stand. I'm proud. At this age, these kids obviously have no idea of what they're doing. It's a fact that public school children are not taught American history to any extent prior to the start of the progressive movement around 1880-ish. So they could have no understanding of the birth and growth of our nation and the sacrifices made for Black Americans. They are then left with the inability or desire to refute any of these ridiculous claims by Kaepernick. And did I forget to mention that these poor children never really had a chance anyway, as I discovered their teacher is a total radical. Her Twitter page displays a giant picture of the Black Panthers. What Kaepernick really should do is shut up and play, and maybe educate himself more thoroughly than he is currently. Maybe then he could be a positive role model instead of the poster boy for racial division. Yet he claims, I'm not anti-American. I love America. I love people. That's why I'm doing this. I want to help America better. And I think having these conversations helps everybody and having a better understanding of where everybody is coming from. As an aside, have you ever noticed that those on the left always use the same old tired line of wanting to have a conversation or we need to have a dialogue, yet they never do? Well, Mr. Kaepernick, doesn't America stand for freedom, liberty, and justice for all? That's justice for all. You, on the other hand, evidently don't want people to be treated equally. You must not. Instead, you appear to be in favor of affirmative action justice, like Black Lives Matter. And this, by your actions, is what you are teaching impressionable children. You should be ashamed. I know you're not, but you should be. Thanks for listening.